Hello, welcome to another episode of Malone Bailey's official podcast, Everybody Counts. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Carolina from the recruiting department at Malone Bailey. Hopefully this isn't your first time tuning in, but if it is, welcome. Our podcast, Everybody Counts, features various perspectives on a variety of topics, from the latest SEC and FASB updates to discussions on recruiting, retention, and more. Everybody Counts explores trends and hot topics that affect us and those in our business. Tune in to hear from partners and staff alike. The conversation is versatile and everybody's input counts. The focus of today's conversation is on the new pathway to CPA licensure in the state of Texas. I'm delighted to be joined by Jamie, Valuation Director at Malone Bailey. Jamie is a licensed CPA who will share insights from her journey to CPA licensure and chat with us on the update of the new pathway to CPA licensure in the state of Texas. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you for having me, Carolina.
Absolutely. So, Jamie, before we dive into today's topic, can you share a little bit about yourself with our listeners?
Sure. Well, I'm originally from Arkansas, and I went to the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville and pursued my degree in accounting, an undergraduate degree. Clarify, and then after that went into public accounting where I pursued my CPA license.
Well, excited to have you here. Let's jump right in. As I mentioned a little earlier, today's discussion focuses on the new pathway to CPA licensure in the state of Texas that will take effect with the start of the 2026 academic year. Many of you may already be plugged into all the chatter that's been going on about the new pathways to CPA licensure in Texas. On May 8th, 2025, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he signed the first piece of the Texas CPA's priority legislation for the 2025 legislative session, Senate Bill 262, which will create an additional pathway to CPA licensure in Texas.
This is very exciting news. With passage of this new Senate bill, Texas is one of the first states to address this new pathway. And since we're a very large state, it's an exciting time to be in the accounting industry.
Yes, this is very, very exciting. So, Jimmy, what's the big change this new pathway provides to CPA licensure? Does it replace the current pathway?
No, it does not replace the new pathway. It just adds on to the current pathways available. We refer to it obviously as the alternative pathway. And what it does is anyone with a bachelor's degree can pursue a CPA license if you have the accounting concentration. So now an undergraduate degree with accounting concentration hours, as well as 2 years of work experience. And also you have to pass the CPA exam.
And that work experience you're referring to, is that any work experience or is it something that's particular?
Yeah, you have to work under the direction of a CPA, a licensed CPA.
Got it. Okay, so that's important. For the years of experience, it has to be under a licensed CPA.
Correct.
To count. Great. Why do you suppose Texas is doing this now?
Well, as I said earlier, there's been a huge concern in the accounting industry because of the shrinking pipeline of CPAs or accounting majors. Universities are concerned there are fewer and fewer people getting into accounting, which means that we have a shrinking population of people that can go into the industry. So there's several reasons why: cost, time of pursuing those extra 30 hours. So it's just an exciting time.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you share with us a little bit about maybe some of the steps that you took?
Sure. Well, it's kind of come full circle. Back when I did my accounting degree undergrad, there was no 150-hour rule. So I pursued an undergraduate in accounting. I had the 30 hours in accounting. I went to work in public accounting for 2 years. I worked under CPAs and I got my license. It was simple as that. It was basically what this new pathway is.
Wow, so full circle, right?
That's right.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us, Jamie. So if I'm a student right now, with these additional pathways in place, how do I decide which path to take?
Well, I think it just depends on your situation. I mean, the cost, kind of what your mental framework is, whether you want to go to college for 5 years straight, whether you want a master's. Well, it really depends on your situation and what your mental framework is. I mean, if you are already planning on a master's degree, I would say stick with it. If you really are not financially, financially, if it's a stretch to have that additional fifth year, you might want to go to work earlier, build up some reserves and money, and then go ahead and get some accounting work under your belt to get the CPA earlier. And then you may want to pursue a master's in something else. I mean, if you really want a master's. So it just depends on your situation and really what you want. But then it also opens the door for someone, for example, that had an undergraduate degree in something totally unrelated. What if they had a degree in education or in psychology? They could take 30 hours in accounting and still pursue a CPA license if they decided to switch careers, like midlife.
Wow, yeah, so it opens up for a lot more opportunities.
That's right, it sure does.
Well, so before we wrap up, is there a message that you would like to share with the future CPAs that may be listening?
Well, I think that I've always said accounting is a language of business. You can never go wrong with a degree in accounting or a CPA license. It can never be taken away from you. Well, I guess it could under fraud situations, but for the most part, once you get a CPA license, it's with you. No one can take that away. You've earned something that's very difficult to get, and you should be proud of yourself. And like I said, it's the language of business. You can do many things with that CPA license, and the sky's the limit. So I say there's more and more reason to get a CPA license.
Wow, yeah, really does open up a lot of opportunity, a lot of doors, a lot of room for growth, no matter what path you decide to go on in accounting.
That's right.
Thank you, Jamie. That concludes my questions for now. Thank you so much for this helpful information and also for sharing your journey and the steps you took to become CPA licensed. I'm very appreciative of the time you took out of your super busy schedule to chat with us today. Everyone listening, you can find this information and more on the Texas CPA Society website, as well as the Texas State Board of Public Accountancy website. Now, before we head out, we're going to switch gears a little and play a little game we like to play on the podcast called This or That. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, Jamie, and you'll choose which you prefer. Right. So, sweet or salty?
Depending on the day or time, I would say sweet today, for sure.
Road trip or airplane?
A road trip.
Beach vacation or mountain adventure?
Say after a long, busy season, a beach vacation is in my future.
I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. The beach vacation, yes. It's been lots of fun chatting with you about this topic today, Jamie. Thanks again. And to everyone listening, we appreciate you listening in and invite you to check out our website, www.malonebailey.com, for more information about public company audit services, as well as other useful resources. Thanks again for listening.